You blocked them, but their prayers still whisper your name. Their tears reached heaven before yours did. God heard their apology before you saw the regret. They're mourning the silence you gave to survive. The one you blocked is learning to feel again. They didn't know losing you would feel eternal. Not all silence is peace. Some is punishment. You broke the bond, but the soul tie aches. They're crying because they felt your energy pull back. That block button saved your spirit. You saved yourself. They're finally realizing it. Your absence is louder than any goodbye. They laughed while you wept. Now roles reverse. The soul always returns to where it bled. You were the answer they rejected out of fear. They were loud, but you became holy silence. Their guilt now weighs more than your grief. You were never just a phase. They saw your worth too late. You weren't cold. You were healing. Heaven separated you to spare your future. Their apology is rehearsed but unheard. They miss what they didn't nurture. You left without anger. They're left with regret. Your no was sacred. They can't stop remembering the version of you they destroyed. You were their blessing. They misread the signs. They can't forgive themselves for what they said. You're stronger than the apology that never came. They cry now. You cried then. You blocked them, but you still check their name. Your healing triggered their awakening. Their tears won't reach you, but heaven sees all. You're not being cruel. You're being called higher. Their pain is real, but your boundaries are holy. They thought you'd always wait. The silence they're in now was once your cage. They replay it every night. God blocked what your heart couldn't. You didn't abandon them. You returned to yourself. They're crying because they finally believe you love them. What broke you now humbles them. You were a divine lesson. They failed it. You never needed closure. Heaven gave clarity. They know they lost a soul, not a number. You're not cold. You're called. They betrayed a heart God handcrafted. Your block was a blessing in disguise. They miss the one who prayed for them. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. They regret choosing chaos over covenant. They're mourning what they never cherished. You were the safe place they scorched. They don't know how to grieve a ghost. Their karma is remembering. You're their lesson, not their return. Your silence is the loudest sermon. They feel the divine distance now. Heaven wept with you long before they cried. Their tears won't bring you back. You carried them in prayer. They carried you in pride. They're drowning in the same ocean they pushed you into. You didn't block them. You protected your peace. They only understand now that you're unavailable. You left behind who refused to lift you. Their sorrow is a mirror. You were the miracle they weren't ready for. They feel the ache they once ignored in you. You were their calm in a storm they created. Their apology is stuck in the throat of pride. God saw what you couldn't explain. They cried because they saw the truth in your absence. You were never theirs to break. You taught them what love looked like. They laughed at your heart. Now they miss its rhythm. Your tears were seeds. Their tears are regret. They only wanted you when you became unreachable. You gave grace. They gave games. What they rejected is what they now seek. Your goodbye was the prophecy. They realized your silence was strength, not spite. You weren't dramatic. You were divine. Their apology is too late for your evolution. They now cry over the love they never matched. You were healing. They were hiding. You were real. They were reckless. Their guilt will never be louder than your growth. They cry now, but heaven collected your tears first. Your absence was their altar of awakening. They betrayed a prayer. You are no one's punishment. You're a promise. Your no was holy. They used to ignore your voice. Now it echoes. They can't text the version of you they broke. You blocked them. Heaven backed it. You moved on. They stayed stuck in memory. Their regret will shape them. Your peace will save you. You were the chapter they weren't ready to finish. You're gone, and they finally understand why. You are not theirs to cry for anymore. They remember every word they wish they could unsay. You gave everything. They gave confusion. You were late. They blinked too long. The distance is now divine. They didn't know you'd grow without them. You're not someone they lost. You're someone God saved. Your silence is sacred. They cry for what they wasted. You gave presence. They gave patterns. They miss the soul they thought was replaceable. You were never meant to be background noise. They don't deserve your softness anymore. Their guilt is not your responsibility. You're not their missing piece. You're your own wholeness. They lost what they couldn't love. You're not cold, you're covered. They didn't expect you to stop explaining. They miss the prayers more than the person. God erased what you begged to fix. They're crying over what they caused. You were peace they weren't ready to hold. Their soul weeps in places pride won't show. What they thought was control was actually your grace. You were the light they used as a weapon. They didn't just lose you. They lost favor. Your silence sanctified your healing. You were their answered prayer. They weren't ready. Their cries are echoes of the night you broke. You gave closure with your absence. They didn't know your goodbye would be forever. God separated what guilt keeps circling. You weren't bitter. You were becoming. They see now only through the tears. You taught them love, not loss. Your name is their daily ache. You became holy while they stayed haunted. You turned pain into prophecy. They wanted you silent. Now you're gone. Their tears won't unlock what your growth sealed. You weren't their option. You were their last chance. They misread your worth as weakness. Now they cry into a silence they created. You're no longer theirs to explain. What they took for granted became sacred. They'll never forget the one who became unfindable. Their tears are too late. Your healing happened without their apology. They still whisper your name to God. You are their miracle in human form. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Comment your favorite quote and subscribe for more.